This is for La Raza, yes, for us, and for the world to see, because today is a day of history for all of La Raza, wherever they are, throughout Latin America, throughout Mexico, wherever brown people exist. Today is a day of history, and from this day on, La Raza Mexicana shall be history.
Chicanos are marching to protest the high casualty rate of our people in Vietnam. We have suffered 22% of all casualties in Vietnam, yet we only make up 5% of the total population here in the United States. The Chicano people, through our moratorium, are saying now that the front line for Chicano youth is not in Vietnam, but in the struggle for social justice here in the barrios of the United States.
Before, the people were divided very much, especially during the Pachuco days. Chicano would be fighting Chicano. Now I see unity. Like now you can go from one barrio to another and you're brothers. And this is really beautiful to see people united and fighting for the same cause.
I ran because I'm afraid of the police. I met a lady about 63 years old, and I told her, I said, move because the police are coming. The lady wanted to see. So I went to the first house, and I stood at the porch there, and a police officer came and beat her up with a baton on the head, and that lady just went out like a rag. So then I started yelling, so they wouldn't beat anybody no more, because 2 or 3 officers and sometimes 6 would get a boy and they were beating him up. And then they would go and get at somebody else. And some of them, they would take him away. But that lady, they just left her there.
Okay? We're not against anyone, against the black people or the white people. We're against the pigs. We're against oppression. Our organization, our peoples, is being raised in a white person's mind as a stereotype. How the hell are we going to grow up and become anything if the white people keep pushing into our minds that we're nothing but a bunch of Frito banditos, okay? We're a bandito, well, a banditos go to jail, okay? Right, in Norco, the narcotics hospital in Corona. Right. Okay, there's almost 80% Chicanos. Right. You know that? You know why? Because the Chicanos are trying to escape from their environment. They aren't satisfied. They can't dig it. They can't live in this environment. We cannot live in this environment. The white people have given it to us, and we cannot survive in it. We either have to go to jail or have to die. We're ready to die to get out of it. We've been raised in the barrio, but we cannot stand it anymore. When you have to be satisfied to go to jail to get out of it, then you know it's got to be kind of bad.
Rioting in East Los Angeles devastated the Mexican-American community, but the passage of time has not lessened some of the controversies surrounding that tragic day. Henry Alfaro is with us again tonight to continue his retrospective with emphasis today on the death of newsman Ruben Salazar. Henry?
Thanks, Paul. The parade on August 29, 1970 was staged to protest the Vietnam War and the poor conditions that exist in the barrios of East LA. Over 20,000 Chicanos marched. Up to that time, it was the single largest event of solidarity ever held in East Los Angeles. The march, however, ended in violence, and the death of one man became a symbol for a movement that still lives on today. During the rioting and widespread chaos, 3 men were killed. One of them was Los Angeles Times columnist Ruben Salazar, who also was the news director of KMEX, the Los Angeles Spanish-language television station. After the rioting broke out, Salazar and a couple of friends dropped into the Silver Dollar Cafe on Whittier Blvd for a couple of drinks. To this day, events leading up to his death are not clear. One thing is certain. Salazar was killed instantly by a tear gas projectile fired by a deputy sheriff. Based on reports, sheriff's officials claimed they were after 2 armed men that had entered the Silver Dollar. Through his columns in the Los Angeles Times, Salazar had become a powerful and influential voice for millions of Mexican Americans.